Have a seat. Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stop the presses, okay? Do we still do a print version of the show anymore? Overseas. Okay, now, just before I came out here, James Comey news broke. Apparently, in Comey's new book, Comey reveals that while he was still in office, President Trump asked him to investigate the P-tape to reassure Melania. According to Comey, he brought up what he called the golden showers thing, adding that it bothered him if there was even a 1% chance his wife Melania thought it was true. Yes, it would bother him because she'd be off by about 99%. In the book, Comey wonders why Trump would need to give his wife that kind of reassurance, claiming there is zero chance Comey's own wife would believe such a claim. Oh, come on, sanctimonious much, James Comey? Not everyone's lucky enough to be in one of those rare fairy tale marriages with a 100% no hooker PP guarantee. It's in the vows.
They wrote it in the vows.
Yes.
Yes.
For better or worse.
You know?
For richer or poorer. For cleaning up the sheets. It's all in there. Of course, how does Comey feel about Trump's request to track down whether the P-tape is real?
Lordy, I hope there are tapes.
Me too, James. Me too. By the way, if you want to know more about this, please join us on Tuesday because James Comey will be our guest, sitting right over there. Yeah. Lot to talk about because ever since the election, people have been speculating whether Trump's presidency will be taken down by what he did with a member of the Russian government. Turns out he may go down because of what he did with his member. And I will tell you more about that in tonight's Stormy Watch. Faithful Stormy Watchers know that Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, personally shelled out $130,000 to keep Stormy hushed. But he and Trump also had help from their friend, National Enquirer publisher and guy whose name is a little too on the nose, David Pecker. Now, Mr. Pecker had a scheme to protect Trump where he'd pay women for their stories, then never publish them. A practice known in publishing as catch and kill. Same thing Eric does with leopards. This, true story, this is the tactic the tabloid pulled with Playboy playmate Karen McDougal in August of 2016 when they paid her $150,000 for her story about a 9-month affair with Trump, then never published an article about it. Wait a second, 150 G's to keep quiet about a 9-month affair? Didn't Stormy Daniels get almost that much, and she only had to have sex with Donald Trump once? I've said it before, these women need to unionize. You know? They strong. Union strong. Come together and form the local 104 regretful Donald Trump spankers. International sisterhood. And here's the thing, these payments could count as illegal campaign contributions because they helped Mr. Trump win the White House by suppressing politically damaging stories. Yes, but for that, the feds would have to prove that David Pecker was trying to help Donald Trump. And to do that, they'd have to somehow know that Pecker said in an interview, Donald Trump is a friend of mine, I wanted to help him. So what I did was to make a deal with Karen McDougal so that her story would never see the light of day. Good luck twisting that one, Robert Mueller. And today, we learned that Pecker's The National Enquirer paid a doorman with gossip on Trump $30,000 to keep quiet about Trump fathering a love child in the 1980s. Wow. Wow, the president must be really ashamed of this scandal, considering the children he is willing to claim. And, yeah. Never.
At Burger
Oh, you're
King.
Eric. Okay, come in. Just a few hours ago, this same doorman confirmed the payoff, saying, I was instructed not to criticize President Trump's former housekeeper due to a prior relationship she had with President Trump, which produced a child. Okay, it's official. There is now a housekeeper I feel worse for than the one at that Russian hotel.